shore walked Paul Revere. Now he patted his horse's side. Now he gazed at the landscape far and near.
Then impetuous stamped the earth.